3 years after the Arab oil embargo, many people, including the petroleum companies, believed that we were running out of a reliable, secure supply of petroleum. At that time, OPEC refused to lower the price of petroleum. Shortages caused long lines at gas stations. Exxon and other petroleum companies were doing large-scale research and development on the conversion of coal and shale oil to hydrocarbon liquids. In the 1980s, the threat went away. In 1981, the average annual price of oil peaked at over $30 per barrel, and by 1986 the average annual price was close to $12 per barrel with short-term prices below $10 per barrel. There were no more gas lines, and Exxon ceased construction of a shale oil conversion plant in Colorado. What happened? The sharp increase in the price of gasoline caused a large increase in conservation in the United States. Four-cylinder cars became popular. The U.S. government mandated an increase in automobile gas mileage over time from the automobile manufacturers, and speed limits were reduced on highways. The higher price of petroleum spurred the exploration and discovery of more petroleum all over the world, including in deeper seas. In June 1977, the first oil was pumped down the Trans-Alaska Pipeline that opened the Prudhoe Bay Field, the largest field of petroleum within the United States, over 13 billion barrels. The demand for petroleum decreased by 5 million barrels per day by 1986, and the supply of petroleum by non-OPEC countries increased by 14 million barrels per day, causing the price to drop. In an attempt to recover OPEC control, Saudi Arabia flooded the market with petroleum. The world was far from running out of petroleum, but the laws of economics eventually worked their magic. Unfortunately, people proceeded to stick their heads in the sand and forgot there ever was a problem. In 2007, six-cylinder engines in SUVs are popular. The mandate on automobile gas mileage has been repealed, speed limits are back up, the production of petroleum from the Prudhoe Bay field has peaked, and the price of petroleum has reached above $90 per barrel. Active oil exploration has discovered oil fields in offshore West Africa, offshore Brazil, and in still deeper water of the Gulf of Mexico. The production of extra heavy oil has ramped up in Canada and Venezuela. Biodiesel and gasoline containing ethanol is being marketed, and hybrid cars have become popular. However, the production of petroleum peaked in the United States in 1971, and the discovery of new conventional petroleum reserves in the world has not been keeping up with consumption. Is the supply of petroleum about to run out? Paul Roberts, using well-balanced reporting, provides his reader with enough information to make guesses as to the future supply of petroleum. He arrives at the possibility that the production of non-OPEC petroleum could peak in 2015, and OPEC petroleum could peak in 2025. Of course, no one really knows. Even this guess is for conventional, light crude oil. As the price of petroleum increases, the search will move into still deeper oceans and into the Arctic. More oil will be extracted from existing wells where past recoveries have been only 25 to 33%. Of course, the huge resources of extra heavy oil in Alberta, Canada, and in Venezuela are only beginning to be tapped. Liquid hydrocarbons are already being manufactured from natural gas in a few locations. Although fuels from agricultural products will never replace the huge consumption volumes of petroleum, they can make a significant contribution. Ethanol from cellulose, such as switchgrass, is much more promising than from corn. Butanol may be preferred over ethanol because of its lower solubility in water and higher solubility in gasoline. Biodiesel from canola oil produced from rapeseed, the third most produced vegetable oil in the world, is more promising than that from soybean oil because of the former's higher production per acre. Of course, the technologies for obtaining liquid hydrocarbons from the conversion of shale oil and coal are on the shelf, waiting to be reactivated. Therefore, although we are not likely to run out of liquid hydrocarbon fuels for a very long time, cheap, like petroleum is a very limited natural resource. Petroleum price is already high enough to activate alternatives, but the prospects are that the price will increase further in the future to maintain a high supply of liquid hydrocarbon fuels, which include even more expensive alternatives. What about hydrogen? Unfortunately, there are no hydrogen reservoirs that can be tapped by drilling a well. It is most economically produced from natural gas or from hydrocarbon liquids of petroleum. Hydrogen from water is far from energy efficient unless it involves reactions with carbonaceous materials, gasification. It is the preferred fuel for fuel cells if their technical obstacles can be overcome to achieve their high theoretical efficiencies. Even in this case, for vehicles the hydrogen will likely be made onboard by reforming liquid hydrocarbons to carry safely enough fuel in a limited volume. Although this method promises to conserve hydrocarbons by the much higher fuel efficiency, fuel cells operating on hydrogen do not completely free us from our dependence on petroleum. If you want to learn more about when petroleum will run out, you could do so in my book, Economics of Oil and Gas Production, which is published on Amazon. Check it out at the link in the description. Please take a second to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and do not forget to also hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and goodbye.